Nah, nothing like that in our shop. We're on a shop called Church. We're on Church Street, the big church down the end, and yeah, no Illuminati stuff.
Are the churches built on ley lines?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just built anywhere. It's church like every 5 seconds where I live, because it's like England. Do you know what I mean? It's like we got
What's up,
shitloads of
Jamaican?
churches.
I had heard that they're all maybe it's, I don't know. They say all around the world the dragon lines. That's what the Japanese people call them.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's pretty
but
clever.
It
What is a ley
maybe,
line?
maybe there is some churches on them, but there's too many churches for that to be the case here. Do you know what I mean? There's just churches everywhere. So,
What is a ley line?
isn't it like a spiritual energy? thing?
How do we know what ley lines are and where they are?
Oh, isn't
how
that
is
on the
this
globe, isn't it?
How is it determined? No, they're not on a globe.
Oh.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, what is a ley line then?
Yeah,
Interesting,
it's
isn't
like a certain energy.
It's like talking about something as though it's real, even though I don't see any evidence that it is.
Come on now, Kev. We were just having a fun conversation.
Well,
to
I
bring
know.
reality into it all of a
I know.
sudden.
Well, not only are churches on ley lines, they were built by ley line pixies.
Oh, okay, makes sense. They are very nice.
See, isn't that fun?
They do the best stained glass windows.
And what does it matter? Because we can't be wrong, because there is no truth.
Oh.
You guys ever heard of the company? It's well, I think no one's heard of it. I had never heard of it. It's called Intermag.
Nope.
I don't think it's a government company. Basically,
I figured out what ley lines are.
All right.
Hang on a minute. Haunted, you actually were in the shower earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm honest, man. I told you I'm honest.
It was
Don't you feel a bit dirty now?
I can't help it.
the
Little
phrase.
bit. I thought it was raining on his porch or something. I just...
The phrase was coined by like a amateur archaeologist in 1921, and it has to do with like apparent alignments of landforms and places of ancient religious significance. So
Oh.
it's based on ancient history and shit.
Are they measurable in any way?
Yes. I don't know.
Or is it just
Well,
to connect
They're
the dots?
measurable, but by distance.
Yeah, but these kind of
Guys, I
videos
gotta
I
get-
watched when I was a flat earther man, I don't know if they're actually true. Do you know what I mean? If anyone's actually gone on Google Maps or whatever. And...
Well, what I'm
Hey
curious,
guys, I got to get going in like about 2 minutes. So
It didn't
there is a
become-
company called Intermagnet. They're like a geo data survey company, and they basically track the geomagnetic activity of the Earth. And I called them up one day as a crazy flat earther. No, I didn't really say anything about that, but it was back when I got into this, and I was like, "Hey, so how did?" The guy was answering all my questions. He was like, "Yep, Well, we estimate a lot," and I'm like, "So the pictures and textbooks and stuff, like, how do they? What do they know?" And he's like, "Well, we know just about a couple of miles down, and the rest is just they use radar scanning, like the like those units they run them over the ground, and it just looks at the Earth's density, and they get an image based on those calculations. So whatever's ground penetrating radar, and the guy was just so nonchalant about it. I'm like, well, what about the water and stuff like that? Like, is there an area of the Earth where water behaves differently? He's like, well, water's not really flat, it's lumpy. And I was like, okay, I can run with that. It is lumpy. And as for gravity, it's said that it affects water in all of its form. And I was like, okay, that makes kind of sense. And we were just talking about some stuff, and I told him, yeah, there's a lot of people online that believe the Earth is flat, and they're not buying into like all the other theories. And he was like, really? Yep. Well, I can see that. I was saying,
But
I ran out of things to say. I was like, okay, thanks for talking. And that was it. It wasn't a surprise though. He was like, yeah, okay. Thanks. He didn't say I expected that at some point. But they're tied into some pretty big companies, some pretty big contractors.
All right. Is this the point where
be
we
confused
wrap
with
it
the
up,
very
sum it all
real
up?
Telecurrents.
I'm curious if I missed the point.
Stop
Okay,
being
or-
mean to Audit, Kev.
I'm not being mean. I'm asking a legitimate question. I'm trying to find out. Is there a point coming, or did he already make it and I missed it?
My points, by the way, are a fourth density vibration.
Uh-huh.
They exist in the woo-woo area. It's right around
Uh-huh.
9 million hertz.
Sure.
It's hard to pick them up. They float through walls. And sometimes I lose them because they like slide out the side of my head like
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you need to stop watching his videos, man. They're gonna drive you crazy, bro. Seriously. It's not good, man. I've been there. I was
Hey, you
this
guys
flat Earth. It's
You
not-
guys need to watch a video by a guy named Rob Ager, and he debunks, and I hate that word, debunk control. He goes after
Yeah.
Jay Weidner, who I can't stand, because I'm a big Kubrick fan. I'm sure you guys are too. Nope,
Yeah.
we hate him. Okay, good. He goes into it, and
He
he
filmed the moon landing. I love him.
That was his best movie. What are you talking about? Mark Sargent said that. He said it. Stanley Kubrick filmed it. There he is, NASA, that movie that they got the cameras. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
no
Kubrick.
no one said that before Mark Sargent.
Dude, Mark Sargent was the first one who said it.
The original.
Yeah, no.
I think Jay Weidner was pushing that stuff heavy. I didn't know how heavy he was until I heard a couple of more of his interviews where he's claiming to know all of this outrageous stuff about Kubrick. Because first of all, that information's not out there. And second of all, none of it jives with the books that I've read on him and the other stuff. There's only two interviews, really. There's a telephone interview from '69. And the other one is about The Shining, I think 1981. That's
Is that
about it.
documentary called like Room whatever, I forget the room number.
Yeah,
That's
the pace.
dude, that is
Yeah.
like the worst, most amateur
It's so
documentary ever. Like
So
it's got all
dumb.
these interviews, and the
It's
interviews are done by like by phone. And in one of the guys' interviews, like his kid is like yelling in the background. He has to like
Yeah.
pause. It's like it's so
But you know
amateur.
that's not a real. You know that's not a real interview, though, right? The guy
Well-
did a pretty good job of making it look real.
It's not. I
When he
didn't
used-
know.
No, he used Kubrick's wife, Christiane, talking. He took a few snippets of her saying things to the effect of.
Well, the
Well, there was
documentary is
something I didn't know
like
about.
it's the documentary shows like like I don't know 4 or 5.
There's only one documentary, only one.
Yeah,
Lights and pictures.
Well, I'm thinking of Room whatever 37 or whatever it is.
Room 237 was
Room
Jay Weiner's
237.
Spiritard.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Conspiratorial
about. That was
orgasm.
horrible. Like it's amateur as fuck. Like I've always heard these people recommend on podcasts. They go, "Oh yeah, you should check out this documentary," and then I watch it. And it's like so fucking bad and amateur. It's this guy just
I
like
don't
did
know
these phone interviews
It's
and they're
unbelievable, man.
terrible.
When you hear information like that, like the gematria craziness, like when they throw extra numbers in, everything adds to 9/11, divides to 666, and multiplies to 33.
Well,
Get
There is
outta here with that
there is
shit.
some truth to that. That's the like a lot of these things. There's like a kernel of truth to it, but then they like
But I
spin it
can't be
off.
distracted. And I know what you mean. Yeah, it's. I
But
just-
he can't like Zach
How's that-
Hubbard.
Oh, that guy.
It's
Like,
like he
he
tries
looks like he's
to
blind.
predict shit that's gonna happen based off gematria, and it just reminds me of like the Bible
You
talking
guys
about
think
false
earth is
prophets and
flat.
shit. Like anyone who's trying to predict shit, I would say they're a false prophet. I guess, like I think if you want to know the future, you can just read like Agenda 21 and Agenda 22 and all that shit. Like they
you know,
just
you're
they'll
either an
tell you.
entertainer, you're either an entertainer, or you're trying to educate people. When those two are mixed, you get. That's what you get. ODT, TVF, 4, 6, VHF, UHF, Weird Al Yankovic. That's what you get. And
What
I know
about
I probably fit right anything. What about you?
what about Pete Shea, Dodo? He's entertaining and educational.
He taught me about the 9/11 that I saw. He
Dodo.
educated. He straightened out my beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy. Isn't he?
Did he?
I thank Father Pete for that.
King
He
Dodo.
probably thinks Haunted's an actor because he was there when it happened or some shit.
Yeah. I kind of
He
fell
made-
off with him completely when he went on about 9/11. I was like, oh god.
He gave me the Ludvigo treatment. He's like, now Haunted, their eyes are gonna feel a little dry. I'll put some drops in it.
I remember I'd go on that Earth Discussions channel and 9/11 would be brought up, and I would get so pissed off at Pure Anarchy. I thought I was gonna have like a heart attack or some shit. But like, it's funny because like Pure, they all try and bring the debate to like how the towers collapsed and shit, which becomes like a debate about physics and engineering, which I can't fucking talk about that shit. So like, I was just trying to avoid that. And they kept trying to like bring it back to that, but you don't need to talk about that shit because like I talk about you just look at it logically. There's like the plan for the new American century. There's like the military stand down. There's the anthrax attacks which happened after. Like there's a bunch of like the passport that survived the fucking towers collapse, and there's a bunch of weird shit.
I always think that
we
the
don't need to talk
tower,
about physics.
the Trade Center 7, I think was it the one down with the office fire.
Yeah.
And the BBC reported it 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
And they've still never answered, they've never answered to us who gave them the news, but they have to give the source if we requested it because we pay for that shit, right, in this country. And this one dude who doesn't pay his TV license anymore because he actually got taken to court. He doesn't have to pay because they didn't answer that question. That's no joke. So that's been in court, do you know what I mean? And BBC still won't answer it.
One of these guys on Earth Discussions, I think his name is like George Hanatik or some shit. He was like saying that it's disrespectful to question it's disrespectful to the victims' families to question the official story. Like, how can people actually be so retarded to think that? Like, so
That
like
surprises you? That surprises you?
oh my god. I guess not, but it's just it's so dumb because
Yep,
you're like
yep.
So George is a nice man. He's
a
like
freaking
really clever
a
dude.
crime occurred, right? And you're saying like it's dishonoring the victims to like investigate the freaking crime? Like, are you kidding me?
Are you representing that properly, PMAR?
Yeah, I was there.
untouchable, though.
I got
Too-
pissed off at him. He said I was being disrespectful because I was
By
questioning.
questioning or by making some kind of claims about like people not dying or
I don't make
Hey,
claims that
along
people
those
don't
lines.
die, and I don't say there was no
Hey, P.
planes.
Mars, hold on one second. I'm going to
Yeah.
give you guys just a quick little thing, and then I definitely have got to go. I know a family that lost their son. Not on an island somewhere. Could he be? Absolutely, he could be. All I'm do is go to their house, knock on their door, and sit them down and try to allude to the idea that there might be some kind of some kind of cover-up being probably be beaten to inches of my life. If I were that
Because you're
family,
inferring that their son has something to do with it by
Exactly.
hiding on an
Exactly.
island. But
I don't know how to.
we're not all inferring that. A lot of people did die. But
Exactly.
we're not saying that our own government didn't kill them.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I have that. Well, I don't really have the situation, but the potential is there because I don't know too many people who know people that are gone because of 9/11, and it's like no one's done that, and that's what's being. Everyone talks about the body count and stuff, and they want to go down that road. You can go down. That's a lot shorter, and let's go directly to the source. But they'd rather not do that, and to me,
That's
that's
not a real
dishonest. So that
You can't
3,000
ask the
people didn't
victim,
die.
the family of the victims what happened if the victims don't even know what happened.
But if people are gone, they're gone. And someone's saying
That's
it
not
wasn't
the point.
3,000. It was 3,000. Something's going on there. Something's going on. You know?
Yeah, something's definitely going on. All the people who said, well, not all the people, but a lot of the people who were witnesses to the event, to explosions, have been murdered. Something's going on.
I was a witness. I was a witness to it. I saw the second
Oh,
building
were you?
from a mile away. And I heard it too. I don't know. Wasn't close enough to verify explosions or anything like that. But I definitely didn't hear any airplanes. That's for sure. I won't believe airplanes. There's a guy named, if anyone wants to look him up, his name's Diak, D-A-K. He's, I would say, the foremost researcher. He won't accept any evidence, and if somebody gives him good evidence, he'll tear it to pieces, and maybe take a little bit. But he's going down to the photographs. He's looking at the nuts and bolts, spotting missing bolts. Like, he's dedicated his life to it. Job. He put a GoFundMe together to get the airplane wing on that rocket slide out in Vegas. That thing they used, 600-mile-an-hour rocket. He wants to slam a wing into a steel truss and see what happens. He almost had the money for it, but someone took over the project. And I spoke to him once, and he's got, I think, the best. He was on Fetzer a few times. Some really interesting things. All the footage. He's looking at it. He's doing the work. You know, he's putting together a lot of stuff. He's putting together like a whole argument and shit. But other than that,
All that.
guys, I gotta go send some certified mail out so I can go sue somebody. Come on, post office. For Christ's sake. I'm gonna go postal in a second.
What are you posting? What are you posting? Flat Earth pictures.
No.
Flat Earth postcards.
Here's the flat Earth pictures. Thanks. Holy shit! The guy's getting arrested. They just put him in a black van.
Yeah, man, they were waiting for you. They got the
I
wrong
know.
guy. Got bail now. Before they realised they got the wrong guy. They're after your pictures, bro.
Hey, it was me. Come on, guys. I have no life. Oh,
It's
I
actually
wanted to be in
Curved.
that.
Agent Curved, just ready to pounce.
I told the Glover that it was a sphere, and he was like, "No, it's not." Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh no. Wait a minute. I don't know what. Am I supposed to argue against you or for you? But hey, if it makes you guys happy about it, if it's a ball to you guys,
It's a ball
At the
for
end of the day-
everyone.
Dude, shut up.
if it's a ball for you guys, you know, power
There's-
to you.
It's a ball for everyone, man.
You guys feel.
We're
you
all
guys
living
feel
on the
about it.
same ball.
You guys, you realize that, Alex? We have the same sentiment about each other's idea.
Yeah, no. Well, no,
'cause you're
because I
living on
really
a
want
flat
you to
plane.
not believe it's flat.
Your sentiment is unbounded.
I know that is true. You
I
really
re-
want me to believe. It's
honestly,
a
bro, I
ball
think it's
more
really
than-
unhealthy.
We have
to
a
believe in
working
flat Earth.
model for our sentiment.
It is unhealthy in some respects, though.
It is,
Social-
man.
socially, it is.
Avoid
It
that.
is, yeah, I
Let's
know.
talk
Social
about
suicide.
psychology.
It is social. I know, bro. It's hard to pull that off in social. I've done it, but you get a mixed reaction.
Dude, I've gotten scared a few times. I
Yeah.
got kicked out of Radio Shack because of it.
Yeah, dude.
Got
I've
kicked out of
been-
Radio Shack. This
I've
other
had people
girl
trying to
thought
punch me.
I wish I was
she was like, "What did you find God now?" No. She was like, "No, he doesn't believe it's flat." No, and I was like, she was getting really like heated. And this other guy was like, "No, wait." He kept on pulling my arm. He's like, "No." But and they were drunk. He was like, satellites. No, come back. I gotta prove. No, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. They like wouldn't. They're sitting me down. They're like, "You gotta hear this, Einstein and." The friggin' satellite pictures, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, they make shit arguments, and
Words.
it's frustrating. But just you got to remember that when you're on here, these like people like
I know,
Curve and
I
everyone,
know,
they're people
I
who
know.
do take your arguments seriously and answer the questions. you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And I
But
have
I think-
looked at the evidence. Yeah.
Do you think we should have come to a conclusion by now?
We have.
Yes.
We have.
But you guys,
A lot of
Fire
people have
boy.
jumped off already.
what do you guys think about
Bombo
that Soundly guy?
Yeah, Soundly killed it, didn't he? killed it.
Oh.
It was the dude. Like,
But how did he have that localized curvature though?
I went.
What?
I looked at that.
I
footage.
see the same thing Soundly sees. Like
word,
where I live,
one
it's
word.
flat, and I can see like
One simple word.
the treetops curve up and go over the like a hump, just like in Soundly's picture. It looks exactly the same.
Equinox.
That could be terrain, though. To be fair,
And
No,
then
it's-
Soundly's
remember,
pictures over the water.
No, this is where I live. It's flat as fuck. It's like flatter than
Oh.
Kansas.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. No rational person can argue against Soundly's video evidence.
yeah, dude, and they even modelled it in 3D with the correct parameters of what the curve should be, and it matched. So it did, you know.
So, what's the incredulity towards Soundly's pile of evidence that he's accumulated there?
I think it's what his intent is.
It was intense to
Intent?
make you realise the Earth's not flat.
So you guys would rather put this thing to bed and end it?
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I get
Um,
so much entertainment out of this, but I don't want people to be like upset and sad and be getting conned, because some of these people I do think are con artists, like pushing this stuff.
I
And
follow you,
misled.
man. I follow you. Maybe I'm not like the rest of the flat earthers, and I know that for a fact because.
They all say that.
No, you're not. You know.
Hey guys, I gotta get going. It was good talking to you.
All right, buds.
Cool.
Good
All
talk. There you go. Another flat earther down. Come on, Spurs. You're next.
How many flat earthers told you I'm not like the other flat earthers?
Yeah, he'll be back to flat Earth tomorrow. But never mind.
One of these flat Earths is not like the other. Oh, he's
Well, there's
just
nothing to
listening.
listen to, Spurs. You're gonna
Yeah,
have
The
to.
show's
You're the
over.
only flatty here, man. You're the only flatty here.
Who's-
Have you
one who does-
formulated an argument yet, Spurs?
Who's Jamaican Titan is that? That's not Jamaican Titan.
It's the cool one.
It's the cool one, yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers think y'all real cute, huh?
Yeah.
Hacking another man's account to take shots at Dread. Having this man wrongly accused. Where the shit didn't work because they still brothers, motherfuckers. Yeah, that shit wasn't funny.
What are we talking about?
Preach that shit.
I don't know.
Funny.
Did
Oh,
his
Jamaican
account?
Titan's just.
Did did someone's account get hacked? I don't know.
Oh, do you know what happened? Do you know? Okay, so like basically somebody was like pretending to be someone else,
Okay.
and like
Oh, I
basically
see.
trolled the shit out of Dredd, and he went fucking ape shit, and then realized live on stream he'd been trolled,
Okay.
and then Jamaican Titan put that video out like I loved you. No, whatever. Like, fucking great. So funny. It's one of the best trolls of Flat Earth, I think.
That's a good one.
Because he actually found out, you got to see Dredd's reaction live. Like, he was streaming as he figured it out. It's fucking great.
Dredd gives the best reactions.
You know how he loses his temper as well? Like, he's screaming. Like, it was like one of his worst ones ever. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute now. Like, hang on. Like, because they realized this was like... But apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he'd been like chatting up Charm Fear and stuff and everything, this sock account. Like everyone was chatting to him, didn't realise. Like, oh, that's great. Couldn't happen to a nicer streamer.
Really?
Because Dredd, I think
I
Dredd's-
find that hard to believe because Charm Fear, she's pretty sharp.
Oh, Dredd. I thought you were in a good mood, you said again today, Curved.
I am. I'm very calm today.
He hasn't said one fucking rude thing to me yet.
That's true.
You know, so you can gauge it by that usually.
Well, I think it's because Haunted was derping way too much. There was no...
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was going off and, I mean, just rambling on and on and on, saying nothing.
Yeah,
I think-
that's what he does.
I did it back to him.
Yeah, you summed him up perfectly. You put all his things of the last like hour together, and it just like grass is green and red, and all this. It's like, what does truth sound like? Oh my god, brilliant!
It's like I tune him out, and then I'm like,
Oh man,
I was
Got-
talking
getting
on his panel the last couple days or something, and like I would tune him out, and then I'd come back and I'd be worried that I miss. But it's like he doesn't say anything, so it's like didn't matter.
just let him keep going.
I'd be like, oh shit, he's gonna ask me a question now, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I wasn't listening to you, but yeah, it never happened. So.
That point never happened.
I disagree.
I hate that when you're in Hangout. You know when you get like distracted by the side chat and you forgot you haven't.
Yeah,
been
I was just like, man, what the fuck is
Oh,
this guy
nice.
talking about? He's going on and on, so I just started chatting.
Oh, look at that, Frosty. Yeah, I'm jealous.
I'm jealous.
Even more jealous because I've got to go freaking work in a minute. Oh, I've really got.
Sparkle lead one right there.
Oh, that is nice, man.
One sparkle at the front. 2 sparkles. Wow, it looks like a little star inside there, huh? The way the light's hitting that little sparkle.
Sparkle
Little
Kush.
universe in there. There's probably a little universe in there. A little flat Earth disc. Oh, got to take this call. Hang on.
Well, Spurs, do you have any updates from the flat Earth scientists out in the field?
Is that a real word?
Not really. It doesn't make sense. No,
I'm relentless. Sorry. Go ahead.
you can't use real words to communicate with Spurs.
With your flat earth scientists and your backyard experiments.
Spurs says he's listening, yet
Flat
he
Earth
doesn't
is-
seem to be there.
Spurs said he was gonna like come into the hangout the other day, and then he never did. I got all excited. He's like, when it's offline, I'm gonna come in. We're gonna debate, guys, and they just never showed up. Remember that, Spurs? Oh well.
So,
We don't have any
This is
flat
like-
earthers.
where are the actual flat earthers to debate?
Spurs tried to set up a Foucault pendulum and knocked himself out.
Do you know the New Agers used to swing pendulums in like the 70s to make decisions or some shit? Like that was a big New Age thing, like the crystals and shit today. Like they would swing pendulums and they'd make a decision based on how the pendulum swings or some shit.
Wow.
Side fact, I guess. But.
I hate when people mention shit like that when they're talking about Foucault pendulum.
Fucking
It has
Cathexis
nothing to do with the same amount. The same
Cathexis
idea.
debunked Foucault's pendulum because during eclipse there's like a anomaly.
Yeah, I debunked Defexis.
Defects.
I debunked
Defexes.
Defexis. Debunking of that.
Uh-oh.
He said it turns backwards or rotates backwards. It does not. Flat Earth fairy.
How can truth human be here when truth doesn't exist?
Yeah, Cathexis doesn't even believe in the Cavendish experiment. Like, what the fuck?
Angle of attack, strength,
About all the other
swells and waves,
afterwards.
atmospheric conditions.
Yeah, proven.
Wait, I suppose you don't believe in Cavendish either, do you? Because it's electric universe.
No, we do, but we
Uh,
explain why Cavendish it actually works, not just because it's mass, but because why? Why is it because of mass? That's the question. Everything comports. The Coulomb's law and Newton's law are so.
Uh-oh.
Ass pepper. Anyway, yeah.
Truth human.
Sucker.
All right. Well, on that one, I'm really curious.
Gravitational constant.
What is the? Oh, are you saying it's electromagnetic? The force of attraction in the Cavendish?
Subatomic particle, the dipole, not not electromagnetic as in the obvious effects of electromagnetism on the full particle. It's a lesser understood modality of it.
Right. So nothing that could be covered by grounding the material.
No.
I mean,
Not at all. Not at all. That passes right through it.
is there polarity to this force of attraction that you're talking about?
Well, since each dipole, that if you have you do you understand what we're talking about? A pole inside of a pole. So there is polarity, but the pole is inside of the other pole on the subatomic particle in this theory. Remember, it's just a theory, but it helps explain the mechanisms instead of leaving out the mechanism altogether and saying, well, it's because space is a fabric, which is ridiculous. You know, it's not ridiculous if you've been taught it over and over and you hear it like that and you think of it like that, but it is ridiculous. Space is just the area where something lies. It's a place of holder. It's like a geometry location. It's not the thing that you know, do something with. That's why when people, you know, what's vacuum permeability? Why does a vacuum actually have dielectric properties? As if there's something there. You know? As if you're supposed to, if you sucked all the air out and sucked all the particles out of a thing, what's the medium that's still allowing for there to be dielectric properties of this space? It's the friggin' ether. No matter, it's like saying the ether to physicists is like saying the N-word. It's like such a weird response you get from mainstream physicists, not all physicists, but the mainstream physicists. And then they'll go and tell you, oh, it's all this other stuff. It actually tries to make up an ether with all their other words. They're trying to build an ether, basically. It's like it doesn't make any sense other than to just avoid teaching electromagnetic properties.
I was
For
trying
some
to
friggin' reason.
talk to you with my mic muted. What dielectric properties does vacuum have?
Oh, let me find it for you. Vacuum permeability.
Are you getting this, Spurs?
I don't have the exact equation handy for you.
I'm thinking.
Permeability of free space, a vacuum, is a physical constant equal to approximately 1.257 times 10 to the power of -6. It is symbolized M, which is a U. I don't know, most people don't understand that. UO, permeability in general, symbolized U, or M, which is a constant, a proportionality that exists between magnetic flux density and magnetic field strength in a given medium. Vacuum permeability. How does a vacuum have physical attributes if there's nothing there? Maybe it's just that they don't know how to record what it is that's there, you know? They don't know how to act with it, interact with it properly. Because I would say passing magnetism through a vacuum would be proving the ether, but then, you know, that's just me. A lot of people say that, but
Good morning
I'm not sure why
and
you need
welcome to Flat
an
Earth
ether
Debate.
for a magnetic
I'm your
field.
host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel,
Well,
be
what's
sure
the
to
field?
subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date
What they call the
with the Flat Earth
photons
Debate.
of the magnetic
If you would
field.
like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live.
you see how that doesn't
It's
make
just the force carrier.
But photons aren't moved by magnetism, right?
Are moved by magnetism.
You can't move. You're not pushing photons around with magnetism. Well, But EM fields you can't.
to rejoin the stream
magnetic side
using
alone,
a
no.
sock account. With that, I'm going to transition in a moment to my photograph so I
I
can
just don't see
share
why
the
you
show
need
on
matter
Facebook, Skype,
in order
and
for
Twitter.
a
And I would
magnetic
encourage
field
anybody
to
who's
be
in the
in
live
space.
audience to do exactly the same.
Because
Please
a
share the
field
show
must be
on
defined by
any
something.
social media
Has to be
platforms
a
that you have
field
at
of
your disposal.
strawberries?
Once more,
The
I'm going to say, if
photons
you are new
are
to the
the
channel, be sure to
photons are the field.
subscribe and hit the bell
Yeah,
notification
but you can't
icon
vacuum
to
the
keep up to
Barnard
date
dose. We've
with the Flat Earth
eliminated
debate.
There is, you sure, there's photons in a vacuum if there's a magnet around it. If there's a magnet there,
Up to date with the Flat
The
Earth
don't
debate.
idea is there. The idea of photons are there, but what is a photon?
in physics, I guess it's the force carrier.
Right.
It's a
How
particle.
does a photon accelerate
Yes.
back to the speed of light after passing through a medium of thicker density, though?
Now you're talking about light, not a magnetic
No, it's
field.
the same. It's a photon, right? If we're talking
Shit,
about
I
a
can't
photon,
handle
what
this yet.
accelerates the photon?
I'm gonna have to end
Back up.
this.
The photon never slowed down.
I don't like
It
science
will.
talk,
When you pass light through a
man.
medium, it does very much slow it down.
Not to the particle itself.
Yeah, sure it does.
Now you have absorption, re-emission,
There's no particle.
all
That's
that
the
kind of stuff. It's not the actual photon
whole
slowing
perturbation
down.
of the field.
The speed based on
Shout out to
travel time from A to
Shroomy.
B, passing through whatever you're talking about, slowing it down in the middle. But it's not re-accelerating. It never slows down itself. No, it didn't. That's the thing.
We do know. That's what
She blinded me with science.
slower than
But it's not. No, red moves at light speed. Blue moves at light speed. That's a misconception on your part there. Red and blue are the same speed.
right.
Speed of light. They're both speed of light.
Scatters more readily than red light.
But that does not affect velocity. It's not the speed. There's no speed difference between red and blue. There's no difference between red and blue. Like, no, that's a misunderstanding.
Red light.
No, are you talking about Doppler effect? With red shift, blue shift type stuff? There's no difference in speed. Red is light, blue is light. Light moves at light speed, whatever medium it's in. It does not. Light moves at a constant speed in a vacuum. It does not propagate at that speed in every medium, but that speed is still the speed of light in said medium. Okay, but you're saying red is faster than blue. It never slowed down. But it didn't, not the photons